This is the brand new DJI Flip, and in today's video, I'm gonna give you my overall honest first impressions of this drone and who it's exactly for. Let's get started. What's good, everybody? Ken here. You are watching OriginaldoBo, and this is the brand new DJI Flip. It's DJI's latest drone for 2025. It's actually their first drone release this year. So this drone is sort of unique because it's unlike any drone that DJI has released before it. This one has fully enclosed, laceration-free props, which is pretty unique. So on the surface level, this almost looks like a Cinewhoop, but it flies like a Mini 4 Pro. It also can't do acro or any sort of FPV style flight, as it's really designed to be used in GPS mode. So breaking over the overall design, it sort of looks like a Mini 4 Pro, but not quite. We have redesigned prop arms that have an enclosement that protect you from actually touching these blades. The blades that are in here are different than anything that's been on a DJI drone before. The battery also inserts from the top, giving you 30 minutes of flight time. The drone itself just weighs a mere 249 grams at takeoff. We also get the Mini 4 Pro camera. And yes, it can still shoot vertical, even though this camera cannot rotate vertically like the Mini 4 Pro. It can do that cropped vertical content, sort of similar to the Air 3 and the Air 3S can do. Overall, it is a very well-built drone and folds down very uniquely, sort of like this. And at first, when I first saw it, I said there was no way that this would be small enough to travel with, but I will say this is taking up a smaller footprint. Maybe not as small as a Mini 4 Pro, but definitely small enough to go ahead and put in a bag. There's also 2 gigs of onboard storage internally on here. So not a tremendous amount of storage, but enough if you forgot your SD card that you'll be able to record a couple of quick clips. All in all, it's unique. My unit did ship with the RC2 and did come with 3 batteries. There's also a new charging stand for those 3 batteries, which I think makes a lot of sense, and I would love to see something like that similarly come to the other DJI drones. We also get automated flight mode. So there's a button on the side of the Flip that allows you to toggle through flight modes, predefined canned flight modes, similarly to that of the DJI Neo, allowing you to track or perform a helix or just perform various tasks that you would need without an RC. Now, I do want to clarify one thing here. This drone does not have remote ID. So while this does have a fully enclosed system here, and I know a lot of people in the professional industry would be looking at this saying, wow, this is 249 grams, it's fully enclosed, I can fly this over people. One of the downsides is because there is no remote ID on this aircraft, you will not be able to operate this as a Class 1 drone over people without a waiver. You will still need remote ID, and you will still need to file a waiver to be able to do so. I think that was a bit of a miss. I would have loved to see remote ID on here, only because as a professional, I would have a lot of use for this to be able to fly over crowds and get shots that I wouldn't be able to get with another aircraft, or at least not be able to get without having a waiver. So I think that was a bit of a miss, if you ask me. So one of the interesting things about this aircraft is as soon as you unfold it or put a battery inside of it, it completely turns on. Check this out. So I'm gonna unfold these back to you, and it turns on. I sort of like that, but immediately upon inserting a battery in, it turns on. I'm pretty sure there may be a way to turn that off under the settings, but as of right now, it's something you want to be aware of, especially if you have your gimbal guard on. But I do like that auto on feature. I think it just saves another step, and it's a sort of a nice convenience factor. So I figured now what we'll do is we'll just toggle through some of these flight modes that are here, and the flight modes will appear on this screen, and there's a button right here on this side that allows you to toggle through them. So listen, let's go ahead and toggle.
Rocket.
So you have rocket,
Spotlight.
Spotlight mode.
Direction track.
Direction track.
Follow.
Follow.
Droney.
Droney.
Circle.
Circle.
Rocket.
Rocket.
Spotlight.
All right, Spotlight. I thought there was a helix in there. I guess there's not a helix, but I mean, those are pretty solid modes. So we can set on that mode here, and then you can
Spotlight. 3.
Nope, I cancel that. So you can do direction track or follow. Droney, I'm gonna do a droney.
4 meters. Droney. 3, 2, 1.
So now it's doing a 4-meter droney. Now when I wanna land it, I can actually just hold my hand back out and it will land in my hand, which is pretty cool. So I'm holding my hand out. And it should land right in the hand. And it did. So it is pretty smart like that. I think where this drone really will win is definitely going to be with beginners. People who have never, ever piloted a drone ever in their entire life. That is where something like this is going to be most attractive. Now, with that being said, I understand the general masses of like advanced drone pilots don't really understand that are still people that have never flown a drone before, and they're probably looking at this and saying to DJI like, why? And that's exactly how I was. When they first announced this and I first saw it, I was like, why? Where does this fit? But after having used it and it's been around my kids a little bit, I started realizing like, wait a second, there is a purpose for this, because as a parent or a beginner, this is something that is less intimidating and honestly less dangerous, which I think is good when you can make a product like a drone very approachable for the masses. All right, so let's recap here. We have a 249-gram drone, a brand new, fully enclosed, laceration-free design. We have brand new batteries that support up to 30 minutes of flight time, automated flight modes that do not require the use of an RC, and we still get the Mini 4 Pro camera, giving us best-in-class image quality. I think this is a great beginner-friendly design that's going to appeal to a lot of people who have never considered purchasing a drone just because maybe they thought it was too dangerous, or they didn't want their kids getting hurt, or maybe they had pets or animals, whatever the case may be. This design will definitely be something that I can see a lot of beginners considering, just because you can fly this at lower altitudes without the risk of damaging people or property. Alrighty, so that's gonna do it for this video. If you want more information on the DJI Flip, or you wanna know how to order one, check the link in the description below. I'll also include some sample footage that you can download just to compare the quality to that of the Mini 4. If you're interested in that, there will be a link there in the description to download footage to test for yourself. All right, that's gonna do it. I will see you in the next video. As always, stay original.